On the western edge of Lake Wyalong, tucked beneath the shadow of Mount Joyce, sits a hidden piece of history, a remote homestead reachable only by foot, bike or by water. This restored homestead dates back to the early 1900s, but the dam itself is far younger, completed in 2011, and it's stocked annually with Mary River cod and Australian bass. Though it's an unexpected resident that has drawn me here today. This species offers exciting sight casting experience, with fish often cruising the flats and tailing the shallow edges.
Well, g'day. So I'm all loaded up. This is going to be a one-night camping trip out of my pack. I've weighed the pack in. It's about 13 kilo. That was without water, so you could probably throw another 2 kilo on that. If I follow the marked tracks, which are, they're actually pretty good to be honest. It's about 7 kilometres to Ngumbi campsite, but the downside to that is it skips most of the water's bays and edges, which is where I want to be. So instead, I'm going to be hugging the shoreline the entire way, which is going to make this a lot longer journey, but it's going to keep me closer to the water's edge and give me lots of opportunities to stop and fish all these little bays. If I get to campsite a little bit early, I'll just keep fishing past it and see what we can make happen from there. Alright, first fish, and a very small fish for here. I'll get that hook out, I'll get rid of him and keep moving. Alright, second fish. Again, a smaller one for out here. A little bit below average maybe. Yes. Look at that. Alright, another one. They all seem to be very similar size today. So, little fact, their whole bodies are actually covered in taste buds. So that first cast on these fish really makes a big difference. If you lead them too much, you're giving them plenty of time to literally taste that fly. And just keep in mind all the glues and stuff that you're using, like they do pick up on it. Let's keep going. Alright, not gonna lie, this humidity has absolutely smashed me today. I'm just near the camp now, I'm just gonna walk up this hill. They've got tank water there, so I'll filter some of that out. I'll give you a bit of a tour and we'll come back down, set up camp for the night. Alright, here it is. Welcome to my crib. Alright, here's the entrance. It's got a full wraparound veranda. As you walk in, looks like what would have been a toilet, bathroom, kitchen maybe. Here's where I've been hanging out, recuperating. Got a nice breeze coming through here. Right, looks like there's two buildings that are joined up. I wonder if they're both the original or they've added one at some point. Here's the first room. Another one, some bunks. More bunk beds. What a spot. Imagine living back here in the 1900s. You've just got all of this. Take me there. Right, here's the joining veranda that I was talking about. So it almost looks like there is two houses. Look, there's not much information out there on this place. Alright, have a look at this. This would have been a beautiful home back in the day. Look at it. Hey, could just move in here right now. See you later, world. So I don't know what's going on in here. Maybe some sort of meat storage or pantry or kitchen. Alright, another bedroom. Wow, I'm just loving this house, eh? It's a bigger room. So this looks like it might have been like a dining room. More rooms. More veranda. And entry or exit, which way the road originally would have went. The water tank up on the hill, give you some pressured water. So yeah, move me in ASAP. It's actually a wonder that termites haven't just completely destroyed this place. Well, look, they probably have. I haven't, I'm not looking in the walls, but so I'm not going to stay here tonight. I'm actually going to go camp down near the water. I'll do a little bit of a fish this afternoon. I'm a bit knocked up. I'm not going to lie, that was actually one of the hardest walks that I've ever done. That pack just being so heavy and the heat and just being borderline heat stroke, so I'm just going to take it easy this afternoon. probably a little bit above average in here. So I've just had that thunderstorm roll through here. I've just jumped over to some low light Polaroids, and look, to be honest, the water was pretty murky anyway. Like I could only see maybe 2 meters out, and this is pretty much the same. So anyway, I have spooked a few. I'm going to keep moving and see if we can get some more before the sun goes down. Good morning. That wasn't too bad of a sleep, to be honest. I've just been packing up here while I've been having a coffee. I've got the same temperature as yesterday, so I'm not going to make the same mistake as walking through the middle of the day. It's about 5 o'clock now. I'm going to pack up the next half an hour and I'm just going to walk straight out, fish on the way out obviously, and hopefully we can pin a few. Let's go. Get out from there. There we go. Not a big fish, but those low light Polaroids, they just get you in the game a bit early. I've only been walking about 10 minutes. It's about 5:40. Nice, pretty happy with that. Alright, this guy's got his back out of the water. Just cruising those edges. And he pounced on that. Nice. He's a stout little fish. He's short, but he's stout. Yeah, he just had his back out of the water there cruising. He's covered in a heap of sores too. Nice, second one for the morning. Stoked. Yes.
Beast. What a nice fish. He had me in all sorts of trouble, eh? I had to go swimming for that. If it was any smaller, I probably would have just busted it off, but good fish, I'm happy with that. Right, that's a wrap. So the car's just over here. Do you need to hike that far to catch fish? No. This whole damn fishes pretty well. There's some spots that are a little bit more consistent than others, but you spend enough time out here, you can dial those in pretty well. Look, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.